Walk with me for a few minutes. Enough. I think that's a really important word as we move into a brand new year, 2021, underway. Enough. 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 If I were to pause right there and check in with all of you, what does that word mean to you right now? Would love to see some feedback in the comments below. First thing that comes to mind when you say or think the word enough. I think that's a really important word we get in touch with, reflect on, get in alignment with as we move into this year. And what's interesting about that word enough is it can mean so many different things depending on how it's used, the context that's put around it. And there's at least 3 perspectives that come to my mind that are so important for us to get aligned with going into this year. And I want to talk about those 3 contexts of enough with you all this morning. Before I go into it, I want to know who's out there. Good morning. Sun is out here in Southern California. Beautiful day. Check it in. Who's by my side this morning? Who's walking with us? Don't be shy. Say hello below. Where you from? How you doing? How you feeling? Welcome back. If you've been walking with us for a while, I love to see you. If you're new to the crew, welcome. We walk together, usually weekly, generally on Wednesdays, around the same time, to share inspired thoughts. And this is a collaboration, just like we were all walking together side by side. Would love some participation in the comment thread. I read every one of them. It adds value to me and it adds value to everybody else who's walking with us this morning. So please don't be shy and contribute. Enough. So the first thing that comes to mind when I say that word is I've had enough. I've had enough. I have had enough. And I think that's an important one, especially now. You know, there's a old story many of you might have heard that 2 individuals were walking together and they came up on a dog. Morning. And the dog was sitting down, but the interesting thing about the dog is it was just whining, like moaning, pouting. How many of you ever heard a dog that was just really upset, like to the point of hurt? You knew something was wrong, almost a whimper. And that's what this dog was doing nonstop. It wouldn't stop whining. And the 2 individuals were next to the dog and, you know, they're like, man, listen to that dog. I think the dog is hurt. And the dog keeps whining and whimpering and howling. And one of them got really concerned. Yeah, the dog seems like it's in pain right now. And the other one kind of goes up to the dog and looks around and notices something interesting under the dog. Morning. Thank you. And that's that the dog is sitting on a nail. Not just a small nail, but a big nail. So the dog's whining and whimpering, sitting on a nail, and the other individual goes, well, why doesn't the dog just get off the nail. To which the other replied, well, the nail must not be deep enough yet. And I love that story because I think it resonates much broader than just a dog. But so many of us and people around us sometimes are in pain, or maybe even whining or moaning or hurt. But we're unwilling to move or change because the nail just isn't deep enough yet. Sit down. So when I say I've had enough, I think that's the first context where that word enough has a lot of power. I love the quote that, often we're pushed by pain until we're pulled by vision. And that's so true. So many people start with a pain, right? And we're pushed by a pain until we're eventually pulled by a vision. One of the biggest shifts I ever had was a redefining of that word pain, where pain is not meant to be a negative. Pain is meant to move us. Pain, both physical pain and mental or emotional pain, is meant to alert us that something is wrong and meant to give us the energy to create a shift, to create a change. Pain can be empowering if used correctly. But you got to get to a point where I've had enough. And as we go into a brand new year, I challenge everybody to maybe ask themselves the question of, have you had enough? Have you had enough? And what areas of your life have you had just enough, where enough is enough, the nail is deep enough, the pain is deep enough, it's time to create a change. Where you draw the line and you don't go back, where you hit a bottom and you decide to bounce. And that enough, that could be something in your career. That enough could be something in a relationship or a friendship. That enough could be something when it comes to your health and where you're at. But as we go into a brand new year, I ask you, where have you just had enough and you're ready to draw a line and really, really make a change? Because that can be a start, guys, of something new, a shift, right? A new beginning. Where is the nail deep enough for you? I've had enough. The second context I think about that word enough is not I had enough, but I have enough. And this is a totally different meaning, a totally different feeling of the same word. I have enough. How many of you know the old saying, keep up with the Joneses? It's an old one. And I think most of us know keep up with the Joneses, the context of it or what that means. I think it's funny that came from a really, really, really old television show featuring two families. One of the families' names was the Joneses. And as you could expect, the plot of the show, the other family was constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, who always had the next and the best, right? And we all have those in our life, and that concept just stuck. I think it's interesting that the whole idea of keeping up with the Joneses started with media a long time ago, and today is perpetuated by new media even more than ever before. This feeling of where we always have to keep up with everybody around us. I think social media today has amplified that to an extreme where everywhere we want to look, there's always going to be someone a step ahead or 10 steps ahead. Everything we have, there's always going to be the next version or the new. And that access, that perspective is always one touch away or a couple scrolls away that we can be inundated with all day long. So this concept of having enough has become more difficult than ever before. so many of us get trapped into the when-then game. The when-then game. Where we tell ourselves, well, when this happens, then I'll be happy. When I get to here, then I can do this. When I get to this level, then I'll be able to buy. When, then. How many of you guys have had that trap in your life? How many of you find that you still fall into that trap in your life where you're constantly pushing out, right? Happiness or fulfillment or contentment, where you're constantly chasing the next thing. When do we get to the point where not only we can say, but we can really believe, I have enough? You guys, when I say I have enough, what I mean is by being fulfilled and happy with everything you currently have. Not having the void or the need, right, to have something else, get something else in order to feel fulfilled. You guys, the happiest person in the world is not the person, right, that has everything. The happiest person in the world is the person that's happy with what they have. And I think one of the hard parts in getting to that real place where it's like, I have enough, and believing that, is we don't want to give up, right? We don't want to give up our desire to grow, to progress, to achieve. We don't want to give up on maybe some of the desires that we still have. And the question that lies in between is, can you really have both? Can you really say I have enough and believe it without losing the edge, the X factor, the desire for more? And you guys, I think the answer is yes, we can. We can be in a place where we're happy and fulfilled with what we currently have, the things we have, the people we have, the relationships we have, and be grateful and appreciative for what's in our life right now, and still be in a place where we have a burning desire for more. And yes, a burning desire for more, guys, it can be about things. And if that's something that drives you, if there's something tangible that excites you, if there's something, right, that you can purchase that's meaningful to you and that drives a desire, you guys, that's okay. As long as you're content with what you have, you can still have desire for something more. But I also believe that at some point, desire transcends things. A desire that moves us transcends something we can buy, and it becomes maybe about people we can help. It becomes a desire maybe to create something better for our family or our kids. Maybe a desire to go push something further for our community, right? A desire to create something bigger for a larger number of others, to contribute in a massive way, a desire to leave a legacy. I think at some point, we can be very content with I have enough, but still have a burning desire that pushes us further through a lens of contribution, through a lens of impact, through a lens of legacy. So I think the second big thing we have to get in tune with is I have enough. I have enough. I have enough. And stop trying to compare ourselves to every next best. Stop trying to compare ourselves to whoever your modern day Joneses is. Stop trying to make us feel less about ourselves, right? Because of what we don't have, and focus on what we do have without learning the desire for why we're here. So I've had enough. I have enough. And there's one more that I'll talk about here this morning when I think of the word enough that has to be added to the radar, to the list, and that's I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Because that one might be some of the hardest for so many of us. And I don't know about you, but how many of you fall in to the feeling sometimes where no matter what you do, it's not enough, right? No matter how hard you try, it's not enough. No matter how hard you work, it's not enough. No matter how much of yourself you give, right? It's not enough. How many of you get so hard on yourself that no matter what you do, you just never feel like it's enough? I think today, more than ever, so many of us get stuck in that trap, whether it be our work or career or, our family, that we're on a never-ending treadmill, the perpetual rat wheel. No matter how much we put in or how much of ourselves we give, we never feel like it is enough. And I think one of the greatest places we can all get is to a real understanding where the biggest asset you have is you. the most valuable thing you have is you. The biggest contribution you can make to the people around you and the world around you is being you. Matter of fact, the only thing that differentiates you from everybody else is that you're the only you. And you guys, I don't say that to be a cliche. I think it's the truth. I think all of us have our own unique set of talents. We all have our own unique set of gifts. We all have our own unique set of strengths, things we excel at. We all have our own unique set of weaknesses and things we're challenged at. We all have a unique combination, and that combination is different than everybody else's combination. That's what makes us us. And we were designed that way for a reason. We were given those gifts and those strengths and those weaknesses and those challenges for a reason. And the best thing we can do for ourselves and those around us is to be you. But so often we fall into trying to get better at things we're not good at, trying to fix our voids, trying to replace what was left out, trying to compare ourselves to people that are in totally different areas, trying to compare our story to a totally different book or someone that's on a totally different chapter. And that comparison constantly puts us in a place where we never feel like we're enough. Or maybe we're surrounded by people that keep us down or constantly point out or highlight our weaknesses or where we make mistakes. Not realizing that, you guys, that reflection has nothing to do with us and has everything to do with them and what they're missing and the need they have to fulfill their void by making themselves feel above others, by bringing others down. So often we think it's about us when reality, the people that diminish us, it's more a reflection of them than it is about us. And yet we let those type of people and the comparison of everybody around make us feel like we're not enough. You are enough. The way you were created with what you have, you are enough. My challenge for you going into a brand new year is, are you living to your potential? Are you tapping into your gifts? Are you using your talents? Are you using all of you? Or are you too busy chasing weakness, trying to fix things that you weren't even meant to give to the world? Or feeling down because you're letting comments of others, because of what they've gone through, limit you. The more we try to be who other people think we're supposed to be, the less of who we're meant to be. And that's the truth. The more you chase trying to be somebody else, the less of you are. The more you chase trying to meet someone else's expectation, the less you become who you were designed or created to be. You are enough. Just the way you are, as long as you're being you and the best you can be and giving that you to the world, you are enough. So guys, I love the word enough. I think it's a word that we should carry into 2021, and I think it's something that can mean all three of those things. I've had enough. What have you had enough? Where is the nail deep enough? Where are you ready to make a shift? I have enough. Be happy and grateful with what we have. Don't focus on what you don't, right? Or what you maybe think you lost. Focus on all you have in your hands today and be fulfilled and happy with that without losing the desire to go contribute more. And lastly, I am enough. Just the way you are, just the way you were created to be, and don't let anybody ever make you feel less than that. Enough. So that's my thoughts this morning. I'll give you one more view from the top here. Gonna head back down, finish my run. Hey, question for all of you. Which one of those three do you think you need to work on most? I've had enough, I have enough, or I am enough. Give me some feedback below. Which one resonated the most? Which one are you going to focus on for this week? And let's keep that word in the front of our mind. Let's reflect on those three things and let's apply each of those in our life as we're kicking off a brand new, exciting year where I know that all of us have had enough of too many things to leave behind. We have enough right now to go do some amazing things and feel content in doing it. And all of us are enough to go create a change that's really needed right now in so many different ways. So with that, I hope all of you are safe. I hope all of you are healthy. I hope all of you are well. Look forward to the next time we walk together. I look forward to reading all of the comments below. If you had someone come into your mind or your heart you think this will add value to, tag them in the comments below or feel free to press share. And for more walk with me's, if you want to catch up on some previous conversations, check out the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Alive by Design. You can catch up on some of our previous walks. There's some good ones out there. In the meantime, take care, and until the next time we walk together, have a great one, everybody.